Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this, again, is not David. Real David hurt his back. The hazards of cleaning a cat litter box is now very apparent to me. But he's recovering. I talked to him today. His back is better. Not great. Better than yesterday. It'll be better tomorrow. But he's kind of sidelined for a little bit, so I get to take over. We'll be doing Trump health readings all week until David gets back. Today, I want to talk about David's favorite Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Many of you don't realize that David has ranked his favorite speakers of the House, and his favorite by far is MAGA Mike Johnson. Yes, sirree. That MAGA Mike Johnson and David, they probably exchange recipes every afternoon. Well, MAGA Mike Johnson he's been kind of riding the wave, and now, the wave is coming to an end. The dance is over, and the piper has his hand out and wants to be paid. So what's happening? The Senate voted and came up with a proposal for a budget to reopen the government. Mike Johnson has finally had to recall the House members after 2 months. They were out of office for 2 months. He's had to recall them, and so now all the congressmen are coming. All the House representatives are coming back, and they've got a big whole agenda of things that they need to vote on. Give me 1 second here. Okay, sorry, I needed to get the right term. So the House is going to come back together, and Adelita Grijalva will be sworn in as Arizona's representative, and she would probably be the 218th signature on the discharge petition to compel the Justice Department to disclose the Epstein information. So Johnson stalled as long as he could, but now he has to bring them back in. They need to vote on the Senate's proposal for the budget to reopen the government, and then they will have the Epstein problem. So for entertainment purposes only, let's take a look at the general energy around MAGA Mike Johnson, David's favorite Speaker of the House. You would have thought it was Nancy Pelosi, but no. You'd be wrong. What do you think, not David? Do you think MAGA Mike Johnson is really David's favorite House Speaker? He's taking the fifth. Okay, smart. You're smart. Smarter than me. Okay, entertainment purposes only. How's MAGA Mike Johnson feeling about Congress coming back into session on Wednesday? I record this. It is Tuesday. It is 6:38 p.m. on Veterans Day, 11/11. Okay, foundation is a 7 of Cups. Well, he's basically done his magic tricks for as long as he could. He's basically trying to deflect and distract from the Epstein cases. That's kind of been the Republican strategy, I believe, to deflect and draw attention away from it. The challenge now is they are out of options. They have to come back in and vote on the budget. And once they do that, he has to swear in this congresswoman. And here we go with the discharge petition. And underneath it, you've got the judgment card. Okay, what I read earlier is if the discharge petition gets enacted, there's a whole bunch of Republicans that are ready to jailbreak. And so when it goes to a vote to the House, that it won't be down party lines. Well, it'll be down party lines, but a lot of Republicans are going to cross over and support this. That is my understanding. And that's what this card is. Judgment. It's time to stand up and let the world know what you believe in. In the past, you had the Wheel of Fortune. Hey, he stalled it out as long as he could. Trying to see what what sticks against the wall and what doesn't. You know, what spaghetti did Trump throw against the wall that actually stuck, and what fell to the floor that the pages at the White House had to clean up. Current energy is the Eight of Pentacles. Get back to work. Get the budget moving forward. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune could just be, they weren't sure how long they could keep the government closed. But the Senate seems to have kind of forced their hands at this point. Overarching energy is the Knight of Swords. They've got so many things that they need to work on. This is a continuing resolution, which I believe goes to January now. So it buys them some time, but we're already halfway through November, and there's no guarantee that the House is going to pass this on the first vote. They may have to go back and forth a little bit, and then it might have to go back to the Senate again. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's been they've been taking this with a reckless abandon. Lesson to be learned, victory. In the Six of Wands, it's the victory card. And I could take this two ways. One, hey, he was able to shut down the government. This is probably the longest. This is the longest government shutdown. This has probably been the longest, if not one of the longest times Congress has been out of session. He's definitely seceded his power to the executive branch. He could have forced Congress into session and forced a budget through and forced the executive branch to play ball. But he basically deferred to Trump. And he bought Trump 2 months. However, this could also be what Libby likes to call the false victory, where they're going to parade this as a victory, but the real battle is about to begin. What's the outcome? Eight of Swords. Yeah, no way out. You stalled this as long as you could. You threw as many distractions as you could, but it's time to get back to work. You'll declare it a victory, but your hands are tied, and it's time to move this thing forward. Mikey's going to be in a bit of a pickle, as it were. Let's take a look at how this is going to go with the discharge petition and the vote. Like I said, I kind of what I've read kind of makes me feel that it's leaning that way, but let's see what the cards say. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Okay, let's see. How's the Epstein Files discharge petition looking when Congress gets back into session? Okay, you got Two of Cups, agreements being made, understanding of each other, trying to get to know each other once again. Oh my gosh, the cross is, this doesn't need to be transactional. This needs to be foundational. We need to find out what is really going on, and we need to form much more stronger relationship and alliances here. That's a challenge. I mean, this is kind of a first step of both sides coming together. Dave and I have kind of said a couple times that at least we found common ground. We found where the bottom is, but who knew that it would have to be pedophiles, and going after pedophiles was the common ground where both sides could look at each other and say, yeah, we agree on that. And even then, Johnson delayed it for, weeks and weeks and weeks, keeping Congress out of session and not acknowledging Arizona's new representative. The energy underneath is the Strength card. It's basically, it's time to exercise our strength as a legislative body. Two major arcana so far. In the past, you got the Two of Pentacles. This was the shutdown. It's kind of one of those. It's Mike Johnson shutting down the government to protect Trump. But it's also, the Republicans. Trump ran on publishing the Epstein list because, of course, it was going to be full of nothing but Democrats, right? So in the past, they promised this, and now it's time to deliver. Current energy is the Three of Wands. So we're looking out into the future. what actions are going to be taken in the future as a result of this. Um, there has been speculation on other channels. People have pointed out in the comments that the Epstein list could be coming from overseas. That's, of course, a possibility. But I suspect that um, our congressional representatives are going to go ahead and move forward with this. But yeah, we'll see. Cards may tell me a different story. But this, looking out into the future, Knight of Cups, it's a peace offering. You know, once again, this is something we can both agree on. So let's move this forward. Maybe we can start working together. High Priestess is the lesson to be learned. It's about secrets, revealing the secrets that are out there, asking the right questions, and getting the answers that we need to get to. Outcome, Six of Cups. You know, oh boy. My first reaction is, you know, this is the two sides working together, but there is definitely a pictorial of a older person giving gifts to a younger person. An older boy giving something to a younger girl, and I'll leave it at that. So there's nothing in there that tells me that it's not going to happen. How's that? So the energy looks good on that. And so it looks like they're going to go ahead with the discharge petition on the Epstein Files. Will the Justice Department play ball? It's so funny. I don't trust anyone in the government. You know, what happened to our institutions? Was I that naive to think that? You know, yeah, there's going to be some self-serving and self-dealing, but I always kind of thought that they had the America's best interest at heart. You know, we might have different means to the end, but we agreed on the end. And right now, it seems like we don't even agree on the end. This is just all a big power grab and keeping Trump in power. So how's the Justice Department going to react to this? Oh, there's the underneath card. I'm not looking. I just showed it to you. You'll know it before me. Okay, I got to go through all the evidence that's out there. We've published a little bit, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that didn't get published. And the challenge is, it's the Page of Cups, that it's some of it's crazy and some of it's going to be impacting the MAGA. MAGA's not going to be happy with what gets some of this information that's going to get released. Energy underneath it is the Star. But we need to understand, you know, I always take this as a democracy. Let's see if I could take this a different direction. This is the Star. In this case, is just justice. You know, being having justice being served. Okay, so what do we got so far? The Justice Department they got lots of evidence released. There's MAGA personalities, but they've got to do their job. They've got a job to do. In the past, you got the Eight of Pentacles. You know, there was a lot of work investigating this. Not a lot of work releasing information, but there's certainly a lot of work investigating it. Now you got the current situation as Ten of Wands. The burden that's they're bearing to having to release this, because it's going to be impactful on probably some people that are actually in power right now. Not just people that are out of power or dead. There are probably some active people out there. Overarching energies, the Knight of Swords. This is going to, the information is going to come out quickly. They're going to identify people who are acting recklessly. And I think a lot of things are going to happen very quickly at this point. Lesson to be learned, Five of Pentacles. There's going to be people left out in the cold. And the question is, who are the people that are going to be left out? Is it people that were abusing underage boys and girls, the survivors? Or is it the public who isn't going to get the information because the Justice Department is going to withhold it. Outcome. Oh shit. Okay, Ten of Pentacles. About legacy. About protecting reputations. Oh my god. Shit. Get a clarifier. Five of Pentacles. Tell me more about the Five of Pentacles. What do I need to know about that? You got agreements. Those are the cards I had. It's the foundation and the cross from Congress. It's like Congress is the people that are going to be left out in the dark. Oh, that's crazy. That's a direction I had no idea that it could go. They might just push back on Congress. That's crazy. I'm probably wrong on that. But what a coincidence that I happened to pull the exact same two cards that were the foundation and the challenge. And that was the clarifiers for who's being left out in the cold. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what happens. It's going to happen fast, though. Anyways, thank you so much for watching these videos. I have been running around all damn day today. You know, I had the day off. I had all sorts of leisurely activities planned. That didn't happen. Oh my God. I'm more exhausted than when I go to work. I can't wait to go back to work so I can relax a little. Lord almighty. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the bell. We'll wake you up with a new one. Check your subscription status because the YouTube algorithm definitely clears house once in a while. And I figure when we go in the negatives that either I said something controversial or that's just the YouTube algorithm cleaning the stuff out. So I'm going with that. I don't think I said anything too crazy lately. So I want to do a couple of cat shout outs. Terry Jo Peterson's got a couple of cats. Couple of rescue cats. Luna, a Siamese, and her biological sister Oreo, a tuxedo cat, say hi. So did their rescue dog Coda. Thanks for the reading. Get some rest. Oh man, I need some rest. Okay, so for Oreo, Coda, and Luna. Oh, here you go. There's that Nine of Pentacles. They're living their best life with you, Terry Jo. Oops. I've got another one here. Let's see. Michelle Huss. My cat's names are Sushi, Nick, and Turk. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Sushi, Nick, and Turk. Ah, yes. The Emperor card. One of them's in charge. I guess, Michelle, you're going to have to let me know who's actually in charge of that house. All right. Winter Wren. Okay, so Winter Wren, what are your kitties' names? Again, identical twin rescued siblings. Vaxildan and Vexalia, also known as Vax and Vexy, say Meowdy. And Seven of Swords, they probably got there to steal people's hearts every day when they say Meowdy. And then a shout out to Alan Copenhaver, who may or may not have a pet, but definitely made a kind contribution to the channel. Thank you so much, Alan. Unless this is your wife, because sometimes when I get a donation, I'll click onto the account, and I saw that your wife had some posts in there. So to the Copenhaver family, thank you so much for your kind contribution. Five of Swords. Let's not tell David about it. Let's let him walk the other direction, since he's not here, and I'm sure he's not watching this video, so he has no idea that you made a donation, and that just means more beer money from me. And then we'll wrap it up with Pam Roberts, cat mom to Vladimir Putin, Russian blue. Well played. And we've got the death card. Well, I'm actually going to do a health reading on the real Vladimir Putin. I was seeing an article that he's got back of the hand problems just like Donald does. So I think it's time to kind of look at the two of them and find out what's going on. So that death card is not to Vladimir Putin, but rather Vladimir Putin. And then for Vladimir Putin, we'll get you this one, the world card, because I'm sure Vladimir Putin means the world to you. All right. And that's what I got for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Have a fantastic day. Ace of Cups. Don't let all the stuff out there get you too emotional. We will get through this. Just, we are so close to the end. I can feel it. Just hang in there. We can outlast that 79-year-old felon who eats McDonald's 24/7. We're young. We're strong. We can do this. Take care, folks. Bye. There's no cattail giveaway that I paused. Double secret card. Ooh, I already gave that one. We don't need to get the second one. Judgment. Hopefully, Congress will stand up and let their voices be heard, because the public has stood up and their voices need to be heard. Take care, folks. Bye.